Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion of Naso continues a census of the Levitical families that was begun in last week's Torah portion of Bamidbar. In addition to a census of all the Levites in the Torah portion of Bamidbar, God also commands a separate counting of the three Levitical families that make up the Levites, the Kohatites at the end of Bamidbar, and the Gershonites and Merarites in this week's Torah portion of Naso. Each clan was comprised and named for the three sons of Levi, Kohat, Gershon, and Merari. The purpose of this census, according to the Torah, was to exchange the Levites for the firstborn sons of Israel, who were in fact consecrated to God's service. Originally, the Israelite firstborn were to serve as the priests in the tabernacle. But after the sin of the golden calf, Moses asked for volunteers to go into battle with him to destroy the idolaters. His famous words were, Mila Adonai Eli, whoever is for the Lord, join me. Only the tribe of Levi responded, and for that, they were rewarded by taking the place of the firstborn. From this point on, it was the Levites who bore the responsibility of serving God in lieu of each family's firstborn son. The Torah makes clear the roles of each of these three Levitical families in regard to the responsibility of caring and transporting the tabernacle during their wilderness sojourn. The Kohatites had charge of caring for the holiest objects associated with the sanctuary. As the Torah tells us, this is the service of the sons of Kohat in the tent of meeting, the most holy things, namely the Ark of the Covenant, the table of showbread, the menorah, and other holy items. The Gershonites took care of the decorations in the sanctuary, curtains, ropes, and coverings, and for the musical instruments used during the sanctuary service. The Merarites had the task of maintaining and carrying from place to place the heaviest parts of the Mishkan and tent of meeting, namely the pillars, bases, frames, pegs, and cords that created the structure of the tent of meeting. Since the Israelites were often on the move, the Mishkan and tent of meeting often had to be taken up and moved. Each family had its responsibility to the sanctuary of God. The Levites were the bearers of Torah, both literally and figuratively. But their responsibilities did not end there. Additionally, the Levites were the ones chosen to oversee the sacrifices and offerings of the people. With the building of the temple in Jerusalem, the role of the Levites was expanded to include the singing of psalms during temple services, performing construction and maintenance for the temple, serving as guards, and serving as teachers and judges. Clearly, you can see the importance of the Levites for the people of Israel and for God. We know this even from their names, as the name Levi comes from the words, he shall accompany. The Levites accompanied the people and they accompanied God. That's why they were counted. That's why they were counted upon. Yet for all they did to serve the Israelites, some might say the Levites got a bum deal. Put up the tabernacle, sing sweet songs in the tabernacle, take down the tabernacle, carry the load of the tabernacle. But when you get to the promised land, you don't even get a little plot of land to grow tomatoes. Nothing, just some dividends off the granary. If you come, maybe we'll give you some, but that's okay, right? You just keep singing those sweet songs because you're a Levite. You see, the Levites did not receive any inheritance of property in the promised land. Rather, their reward or inheritance was a special closeness to God. God was the focus of their service, the source of their sustenance, and the significance of their calling. The great commentator Maimonides has something really insightful to say about the Levites. He writes that anybody, literally anybody who enters this world can be a Levite in a spiritual sense. The formula is simple. You just forego the pursuit of material acquisition and dedicate your life to serving your Maker, which implies that being a Levite is a really good thing. Maybe we have to redefine what is a good thing. If life is about dying with more toys and Facebook likes than anyone else, then toys and Facebook are a good thing. But if you consider life an opportunity for closeness with the source of life, then Mazel Tov, you're a virtual Levite and God says, you are mine. So how do you come close to the source of life? You treasure life, you give life, you nurture life. Instead of chasing what feels good for you, you ask what you're good for. Instead of what do I need, you ask, what am I needed for? Love, and you will be loved. Then you will sing about life because you've made life worthwhile. I share this all with you as I want you to know about two such virtual and spiritual Levites within our midst. Two people who have been an accompaniment to God's service and who have accompanied us all here at Congregation B'nai Israel these past many years in our collective journey to the promised land of Jewish fulfillment. I'm speaking about Rabbi Cohn and Cantor Sarah. As most of you no doubt know, they are both leaving us at the end of this synagogue year in the next few weeks. Rabbi Cohn to pursue her passion in pastoral work as a chaplain at Holy Cross Hospital, and Cantor Sarah as she takes on her very own pulpit in Swampscott, Massachusetts. Both of them have been a vital part of what we do here in our synagogue and in serving our congregational family. Yes, indeed, they have been bearers of Torah, both literally and figuratively. They have shared with us their music and learning. They have led us in prayer. They have stirred us to acts of kindness and generosity, encouraging us in the observance of acts of tikkun olam, in repairing and improving our world. But they have also comforted us and strengthened us in times of difficulty and need. For all of us, Rabbi Cohn and Cantor Sarah have truly been these spiritual Levites who have helped build and maintain, bolster and support our community and its members. Just as the choice of the tribe of Levi for this highest spiritual service was due to their ability to channel their strong character in the service of God, so too have Rabbi Cohn and Cantor Sarah bestowed upon this community their strength of commitment and talent. Indeed, they have elevated and inspired our own service to God and our community through their physical and spiritual presence. Their reward for doing all of this, like with our Levitical ancestors, was not so much in material means, but rather was the fulfillment of doing God's work and the closeness to God they helped us all to achieve. They have engaged in this holiest of work and service for B'nai Israel, as did our Levitical ancestors for B'nai Israel, the children of Israel. And for this, we owe them our enduring gratitude. What was true for the Levites and the blessing bestowed upon them by Moses in the Torah is just as true for Rabbi Cohn and Cantor Sarah. You righteous individuals, keeper of God's word and covenant, you shall teach God's judgment in Jacob and God's Torah in Israel. Blessed of God is your valor, and your actions are pleasing. We will miss you both and wish you much success and blessing in your new endeavors. Please join us this evening at our 7 p.m. Shabbat service as we pay tribute to these two extraordinary individuals and celebrate the graduation of our 12th grade students from our School for Living Judaism. Shabbat Shalom.